Welcome to a brand new episode of Aftermath TV. Hi everyone, Caroline here alongside former WWE referee Jimmy Corderas, former WWE superstar Anthony Corelli, and guess who's back?
I'm home.
Nugs in the house.
I was away. I went to fabulous Connecticut and Boston last week. Got to see ESPN headquarters, and I got in the middle of a giant snowstorm in Boston, so I had basically did it all.
Nug, let me tell you, it was not the same without you, so I'm happy that you're back in your seat.
And I needed some recovery after that interview with Velveteen Dream.
That was amazing, awesome, by the way.
Before
we get started, if you haven't already wished Jimmy a happy birthday, it was the other day, be sure to do it. Tweet it at him right now. Jimmy, I hope you had a great day.
It was fun, and it was, again, the usual Monday night engagement on Twitter, which was fun.
I thought you looked older.
Just one day. And speaking of Monday Night Raw, let's start the conversation there. Before I say this, I want to say I don't condone violence. I don't like it, okay? Because I know what you guys are thinking. But I kind of like that Brock Lesnar finally sent Roman his message. As time went on, I started to think that Roman started to whine a little bit, and I think Brock Lesnar was just like, okay, enough's enough. I'm going to beat you up. Do I think he took it too far? 100%. I don't think that he needed to come back and, first of all, beat Roman Reigns when he had handcuffs on and then throw him off of a stretcher. But I think he needed to send a message, and I kind of like that.
I know. I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't see it as Roman Reigns whining. I see it more as Roman Reigns being that guy that has the bloodline, that's been in the business, that's defending the actual guys in the locker room and standing up for them, as opposed to a guy who is there for the almighty dollar and doing it because he can, as opposed to wanting to.
Right.
So that's the way I look at it. And as far as Brock Lesnar beating up a guy in handcuffs, I still don't get how people cheer that and like that. I still don't understand.
The savage animals.
Yeah, how you have a guy that's
not a savage animal. Just throw that out.
Yeah, I mean, there was all three. One, he's provoking, and he's also promoting the contest.
Yeah.
And he has a point that he's not here, and he's a workhorse, and he's here for the money. So it was all three of those things. Now, I don't know if the officers that came out were a part of the plan to get him handcuffed, but when he was handcuffed, Brock definitely took advantage and laid a heavy beating on him. I was in, I believe it was Houston one time, and I was getting a beating and a half from Umaga, and I remember them saying, one more time, one more, and I'm thinking to myself, you bloodthirsty animals, he's gonna kill me. And yeah, so maybe it's Texas.
Well, you know what, I must say, when fans started chanting, he deserves it, I was like, okay, that's a little much.
Well, that is this very vocal part of the fans that really don't like Roman Reigns. But they've been becoming a little more drowned out. There's been more support for Roman lately. Now, last night when Brock Lesnar shows up and just cleans house like that on a defenseless, handcuffed man, real tough. Yeah. He got cheers for it, but every time he came out, you got kind of a lesser cheer. It was more like, stop it, he's already dead.
Right.
And it just went on too long. I know the comment at my house from my wife was, why is he doing this? The guy's already dead.
After Monday night, would you say fans are more behind Brock or Roman?
I think they're starting to get swayed towards Roman, but there's that, like Nug said, there's that anti-Roman sentiment who it doesn't matter what he does, they just refuse to accept the fact that this guy is actually good at what he does, and he's very, you know, he's a great superstar. I mean, he could save 100 children from a burning building.
Wouldn't matter, Jim.
You know, eliminate the world from terrorism.
Wouldn't matter, Jim.
Eliminate the deficit, and they'd still boo the guy, so whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely set teams. Also, the thing is, it's also entertainment. So when Brock comes out, his entrance is very entertaining. It's intense. It's, ooh, something's going to happen. Whether it happens to someone you like or not, something's going to happen. And that's why we tune in. We want to see stuff happen.
I totally agree with you. When Brock started running out, I was like, I think I even tweeted, that's top 5 scariest things I've ever seen. He's like, oh. And I'm like, I'd be running the other way.
Any of those big guys running. We've seen Braun Strowman run like that, and that was terrible.
Braun is fast, too.
Braun is very fast.
I was hoping he was going to break the...
That's what I thought he was going to do. That's what I thought he was going to do.
No, that's Braun.
Yeah.
So we have the Ultimate Deletion up next. I want to know what you guys think. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. We saw Bray Wyatt go off into the dark night waters. Talk to me about this. And also, let's talk a little bit about the potential character development that we might see from Bray Wyatt now that this has happened.
Go ahead, guys.
Well, here's the thing. I like my stories. I'm an English major, and I read my comic books and stuff. We never did see Bray's body at the end, so who knows, right? It's like the Joker. He got away. But for me, the entire thing, while entertaining and whether I liked it or not, I was taken out of it completely by Michael Cole on commentary before it even started, apologizing for it. Whether he had seen it or not, he has tainted my lens viewing this, because the last thing I heard was an apology from the company.
Yeah.
It really took me out of it. I'm very thankful we didn't have Michael Cole talking over the whole thing, but that ruined it for me.
I think that's an excellent point, because I didn't even notice that until you said it, and I was like, that's true. When you hear something and going into a moment, it's automatically in your head. So like you said, it could taint your lens.
Absolutely.
I agree with Nug on that point. And it's one of the reasons why when I'm going to a movie or getting ready to read a book, I try to avoid other people's opinions, because I like to form my own ahead of time.
Very
and
smart.
that's what it should be about. As far as the actual match itself, I was entertained by it. It was different. It was thinking outside the box, which I appreciate. I mean, this is the first time the WWE Universe has been introduced to the Ultimate Deletion, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Ultimate, the universe, the broken universe.
So I
universe.
like that it was different and outside the box. Maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but at least they didn't go way over the top.
I think the production was so different. It didn't feel like a part of the show. It felt like a separate show. Like, right now, we're going to show you a separate show, and then we'll come back to the real show. It was like a little side dish. You know, I'm going to pull the thumper, and I'm going to, if you have nothing nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all.
Wish Michael Cole felt that way.
Well, we'll see what happens with Bray Wyatt next. But guys, we have some exciting news. The newest inductee into the 2018 Hall of Fame. I know we're all really excited. He was once known as the world's strongest man, two-time Olympian, and he has officially gone from the Hall of Pain to the Hall of Fame, Mark Henry. And you know what? I was talking to Jimmy a little bit about this earlier. I think he's just such a versatile superstar when he was. You know, he was comedic, he was dramatic when he needed to be. You wanted to just give him a hug, but he was also terrifying. I just think he's such a full package.
Yeah, he is. When you talk about, try to make a sports analogy, he's the best utility player you could possibly have. Because if you want to do comedy, he's very funny. If you want to be the world's strongest man and the tough guy, he could do pretty much everything. But the biggest part about Mark Henry is and it sounds very cliche, is his big heart. He's so giving, and once he became that locker room veteran, he was so giving of his time, and he was so generous to passing on that knowledge to the next generation, as probably Anthony could tell you, and also the charity work that he did. I mean, like, it's a no-brainer for me. He's one of my favorite people, not just in wrestling, but one of my favorite people ever.
Yeah, he is one of my best friends on the road, and we actually got a chance to meet up a few weeks ago. This is an example. So there was a thing where Ryback was going to press me over my head and throw me over the top rope one time, and Mark Henry was going to catch me. And just the feeling of confidence, like, oh, okay, so I'm safe because the world's strongest man is going to catch me. And he caught me like a baby. He didn't even take a step back. He just caught me. And, I mean, being on the road, he's such a nice guy. He's an awesome father. And he's always, I mean, he's a big, famous international superstar, but he's always Silsbee, Texas, you know?
Yeah.
And every time we drive by, and he's like, he's really proud. He's an Olympic athlete. Obviously, his feats of strength, if you don't know, are absolutely mind-boggling, the stuff he can do. He even has, as an Olympic weightlifter, I'll get into it for a second because why not? We're talking, we got some time for the commercial break. His arm, his elbow kind of sits a little high. So he has a disproportionate arm. So when he does his lifts, he can't shelf it. It's called shelving it, where you're balancing on it here and the bar rests here. He can't do that. He has to literally hold the bar, which is unheard of in the world of Olympic weightlifting. And that is a testament to his strength. People can't believe that. He's in the 500-pound club. He's clean and jerked 500 pounds
it's crazy.
Over his head, which is very, very rare. And then, of course, it's his grip strength. He puts on feats of strength. There's a barbell called the Unliftable, because the handle's so thick, and he's like one of the only guys in the world that can do it. He bends frying pans, he can pull cars, and he is literally a gentle giant with a massive heart and very intelligent person. And
Yeah,
he's
great.
It's the whole package.
He's everything.
He's great.
He's the whole package.
And he can slam dunk.
Well, on the topic of WrestleMania 34, guys, it's less than a month away, which is crazy. Time flies. And keeping that in mind, just like in Far Cry 5, anything can happen and everything will on the grandest stage of them all. So when we had NXT's Eric Young in town, we could not let him leave without asking him what his favorite OMG WrestleMania moment was. And this is what the superstar had to say.
My name is Eric Young, NXT superstar. I use that term loosely. I'd say my WrestleMania wow moment was I was in the house for WrestleMania 18. I lived in Cambridge, Ontario, and made the drive up, had really good seats, and Rock and Hogan. It's hard to describe that feeling. I was already in the wrestling business, so being in the crowd and feeling the energy and watching guys literally make it up on the fly, like that's masterclass. And the feeling after I left there, I knew that being in wrestling was the right thing for me, and for there it was just push the pedal, go after it. I wanted to be there.
OMG Moments, brought to you by Far Cry 5. Anything can happen and everything will. Available March 27th, rated M for mature.
When the black and yellow brand was in town, I had the chance to sit down with NXT champion from the women's side and a force to be reckoned with in the ring, Ember Moon. Check our interview out. Tell me all about this belt. You're wearing it proudly, as you should. You're the top female superstar in NXT. How has the journey been?
It's been amazing. I started wrestling in 2007. You know, it's 2018. I'm working on my 12th year doing this. And this is what it's all about. It's for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to show what I could do, not only in front of the WWE Universe, but our hardcore NXT fans.
So you're known for your athleticism. I know when I watch you, I'm not very athletic. Well, I claim that I'm not at all. And I watch you and I'm like, I want to be like Ember. How hard do you have to work in the weight room outside of the ring to get to where you are?
You know, I've had a huge background in soccer. I actually played college soccer.
Me too. Where?
Eastfield College, which is a smaller college in Texas, but yeah, soccer, I did gymnastics, I got my foot in everything, tennis, softball, you know, I was an around the world, not around the world, but around, an all-around competitor, if you will. Amazing. But it's really hard, but we have amazing trainers at the WWE Performance Center, state-of-the-art facility where we can do everything from plyo to strength training to injury prevention, and that's a big part of making me me.
Makes me happy that you're a soccer girl. What position did you play?
I played forward.
Goal scorer.
I like to run and kick the ball really hard.
It's good. Yeah, you like the spotlight. Goal scorers. I like it. No doubt that you're wearing that belt right now. Talk to me about your finishing move, the Eclipse, because sometimes when I watch that, I feel my neck hurt just watching it. And I want to know how you execute it when you find the moment to just, you know, you see Asuka trying to dodge it. So.
Yes, she did not dodge it. The Eclipse is very, very special to me. It's a move that I have perfected over the course of 9-10 years in my career. I don't know, without giving away too many secrets, it's pretty much a diving corkscrew stunner. That's a little mouthful, I know. But every time I step in the ring, I just want to be unique, I want to be different, and I want to stand out. And one thing that no one else does is take a risk by doing a top rope diving stunner. Who does that? But it's all about innovation, it's all about moving forward. And when I came to WWE, I wanted to be known for being different, for being something that pushes the boundaries not only in sports entertainment, but definitely the women's side. But I don't know. I mean, you see an opening and you take it. That's pretty much it.
You're all about risk taking, right?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Like your hair, is amazing. Your contacts when you're performing are amazing, and I love to see that. You talked a little bit about the women's side in the WWE. How have you seen the women, female superstars evolving?
I remember being at home and watching the first ever takeover that was on the WWE Network, and it was Emma versus Paige, and it was one of those things that was like, man, tides are changing. you know, times are changing. You know, I always fought with myself on whether I belonged in WWE, but seeing the evolution going from what it used to be to now, going from divas to superstars, it's amazing, and to be able to have a part in the women's evolution in WWE is even better.
Ember Moon, ladies and gentlemen, and Nug, we'll start with you. What do you think Ember Moon's potential in the WWE is?
It's funny to say that she's come so far so fast. She's only been there for a little bit, and she's already the NXT Women's Champion. There's literally no end to what she can do. She's getting the best competition in NXT. She's already fought Nikki Cross a ton of times, who's like a Tasmanian devil out there. And, you know, she had some great matches with Aaliyah while they were here touring through Ontario. She's got Shayna Baszler coming up, which is going to be a fight. And then should she move to Raw or SmackDown, there's just a plethora, I'm going to say it, a plethora of women's talent that she can fight with, have great matches with, great performances with. She is definitely unique. She definitely stands out, and I think that's important. She talked about how important it is to her. I think she's got a really bright future.
Yeah, she definitely touched on it, and it's actually one of the hardest things to do, both male and female aspiring sports entertainers, is to be unique and be different. It seems like almost every good idea or gimmick has been done. How do you stand out? You know, that's actually the million-dollar question. It's like saying, you know, how do I get that girl to like me? Well, if anyone knew, they'd be billionaires, right? But the first time I saw her, I said, okay, she's standing out. She's successful at being different, and that alone, besides her skill set and her in-ring presence, is really going to help her climb the ladder and have some big matches. She's unique.
I like the fact that she mentioned that she likes to push the envelope and tries to be innovative and evolve the business, and that's what should happen, because you move forward and not going too far over the edge. You evolve the business nice and slow, and I like the fact that she referenced the trainers down at NXT, which are helping these talents do that.
Yeah, she's a fierce competitor. Had a lovely chat with her, such a good person. So thank you, Ember Moon. But right now we got to go to break. When we're back, we'll talk about a little something called the Greatest Royal Rumble match. Who's excited? Greatest Royal Rumble match, and set to be on April 27th in Saudi Arabia. 50 superstars. That would be the most superstars ever in a Royal Rumble.
They've had 40 before. I remember that one.
Yeah, one year they had 40.
But this is 10 more.
Yeah.
It sounds like the person that named it, like English is not their first language. The greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it's the most royalist Rumble.
Yeah. Well,
that would have been better.
I am super excited about this because they've listed a few names that'll be there, and one of the names I'm really excited about.
Tell us.
Is Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Oh, Chris Jericho is going to be in this match with 49 other guys.
Which tells us there could be some other surprises that you may not expect. The only thing I would like to see come out of this, something needs to be on the line. Like the winner has to get something.
I'm going to put out there that they should get a title shot at SummerSlam.
Well,
I like that.
What comes to mind when I hear this is that there's going to be an awesome trip to Saudi Arabia with 50 friends, and after the event, the party's going to be awesome.
That's straight where
That's the greatest party.
What's the potential like in Saudi Arabia for WWE?
That's an interesting question because WWE is a global brand, and it's they just signed apparently a new deal there in Saudi Arabia, so it looks like business is about to pick up in the Middle East.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great market. I find that without pulling back the curtain, they strongly believe in the product.
Yes.
I like that. I like a fan base that believes in the product.
Yeah.
Okay, pushing forward a little bit, WrestleMania 35 is set to be in New York at MetLife Stadium. What do you guys think about it returning to New York?
I want to go.
And it's outdoors, right?
Yes, I know it's a year from now, but let's plant that seed. We want to go, so let's go.
Yeah, I was there at the other one at MetLife, and I was fortunate to be inside the media box with the glass, so I was protected, but it was chilly that night.
Yeah, you know what? I feel bad because I told my parents, don't bother coming to that one. I go, it's going to be just a zoo and with parking and the hotels for the family and everything. Right. But it was actually really well run.
Yeah.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
But having the city there, because the way the hotel was, there was like by a station. You can go to Manhattan like this, and you know you have some little off time and stuff.
A little secret: if anybody's planning to go next year, stay in New Jersey, right by the river. Take the ferry across. It's only $4.
Perfect.
Anyways.
Jimmy has the secrets, guys.
Yeah, man.
All right, moving on to our favorite part of the show, Ask Aftermath. And before we get to the questions, I'd like to tell you guys that we have Alexa Bliss coming on the show next week. Ooh. So we will be talking to her. If you have any questions for Alexa, use the hashtag Ask Aftermath, and we might get those questions answered for you. And this goes, you know, Anthony will get them answered for you. Okay, but for this week, if this was a possibility, what match or moment would you like to see in the Hall of Fame?
There's so many. We talked to all the superstars about what their favorite moments were, their OMG moments. We talked about what moments resonate with us. There's just so many, and each WrestleMania has like 7 or 8. Yeah. So it's tough to pick one, and I don't want to start putting moments in because then we'll start picking, you know, which second of which WrestleMania was your favorite second. It just gets to the minutia.
I agree with that. Leave the Hall of Fame for the actual superstars and the people that are being inducted.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Hall of Fame every year. There seems to be so many superstars that you're like, he's not in there. So there's a long list of deserving superstars and talent that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So I mean, there's going to be valid inductees for years to come.
Yep.
I totally agree with you guys, but just to answer the question for fun, there was one match that I love, and it was with Kurt Angle, and I love Kurt Angle because I felt like when he was in the ring, he was like this little fireball, and I loved it. And it was against Rey Mysterio and the SummerSlam, I believe in 2002. And that match, I'm thinking soccer, that match was just crazy jam-packed from start to finish. I felt like the storyline, the two superstars executed it perfectly.
I remember it well.
And it set the tone for the rest of the night.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I don't know, that's one that sticks out in my mind for whoever asked. Thank you for your
rest.
question. Next question. If we could have a past championship title come back, what would it be?
For me, really quick, I love the European Championship because, like I said earlier, the WWE is a global brand. They have the UK Championship. Why not a European Championship? And maybe we get Al Snow representing Greece again.
I love it. For me, I do love the old WCW television title. You had 15 minutes to defend it, and it was on TV every week. It's great to see a title on the show every week. But right now, especially for the women's division, ladies tag team championships. The women's tag team championship should come back.
Deep roster now.
Yeah, I like what they said.
Just taking their answers. I'm going to have to go with the Hardcore Championship because, like its name, it's hardcore and I'm hardcore. And yeah, really hardcore. And I think at some point you had to defend it under 24/7 rules. And I'm like, that's so exciting and just unpredictable. So I like that.
Yeah, everywhere from an airport baggage claim to the APA office.
Bring it back.
I like yours too.
Thank you. Anthony's stealing
You're very agreeable today.
All right, guys, enjoy the next episode of SmackDown Live. Remember, send in your questions using the hashtag AskAftermath, and we'll see you next week.